With Hasbro, even before the Power Rangers takeover, they've been a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of company. They put in new innovations and try to adapt to the times, adding more stuff to their figures or collectibles, but they tend to go back on stuff, so it feels like we're not making much progress at all. So a lot of the complaints with this line is there's a lot of details missing, there's a lot of pieces hauled out, but I believe they added just a few new things that should have been there early on and would be more applicable towards a kid buying the line rather than a collector. This could be a fun toy, but it's up to you, and you'll see what I mean by new innovations. These come in 3 packs, come in these little boxes. So you have to buy them separately. T-Rex, Mastodon, Triceratops, to make the Megazord. So let's go over them as you would buy them. The T-Rex being sold by itself is the most bang for your buck for this line. It has had the most improvements from Hasbro, but it's also been taken out some paint, details, and plastic, as long as giving it the shape, which makes it look more like a velociraptor from movies rather than a lumbering T-Rex as it should be. So you can see some details, some plastic was removed to make it more hollow. The most egregious being the head is right there. They try to hide it with a little tongue here, but if you pose it big enough, yeah, you can see the head. There's no way to get around it. Otherwise, the functionality remains the same as the original. You can move the head. You can move the horns on the back to adjust. It's a little softer plastic here. Arms can move up and down. Legs can move out. Knees bend. Even with this peg here, it can go up to this high. Yeah, this folds. The tail is in a fixed position and can't really peg as well into the butt, but it holds in place. So with that, the new things that were added, excuse me, has a waist. Now, the legs can spread just a little bit and can swivel here too. So out of all of them, this one has had the most potential for new poses, like so. Sorry for my camera. So you can see you can have some fun with this new one. The Triceratops and Saber-Tooth Tiger are packed together and they remain the same bricks they've always been. They've been missing details, the wheels, and they're missing wheels. They haven't had wheels in over 10 years. So this is the least exciting of the line. Depends on what you are looking for. So same functionality. Head goes up. Tail folds in. No wheels. It's just molded. Sweet. Saber-Tooth Tiger, you could do a little more, as usual. It goes up. These fold and they're soft. Legs go. And the feet go. Problem is these are a much softer connection. And these feet are stuck in the same position, so even if you put it in a pose naturally, it could tend to slide down. So if you try to stand it up like this, the legs are pointed up, kind of funny. And they made a pivot point here, so you can put it into its tank mode more easily. Otherwise, these are, again, bricks. A similar thing is going on with these two. The Pterodactyl and the Mastodon are, again, packed together. Guns hold this up. The Mastodon, an example of egregious missing detail, as there's no ears. There's no stripes back here for the arms. That will come later. So, again, not as much of a brick this time, even though it already was. Hollow. The legs can move like on the original. The unique difference is the head is on a swivel piece that's separate from the handle for the shield. So you can sway his head slightly side to side. It's all plastic, doesn't move. That's somewhat neat. Pterodactyl, again, is a brick. hollowed out inside. This is actually a detail and not a sticker, but you can see like there's a little hole here for this next position that could have been covered up, and I'm not sure if it was on the original. Otherwise, it's basically the same old brick. Wings fold, next fold, tear it out the head. So that's about what to expect. The tank mode is still possible to make with this creation, but the instructions have you bend the knees the wrong way. They have you having go up when anyone who's seen the show knows that you could lean it forward to get in the proper position, and you can still do that here at your own choosing to get something that's more accurate to the show model. Again, still a lot of details missing. Now, small bonus is you can use the new joints on the arms or the waist or the legs to give some adjustment. The kicker here is this connection is not as strong anymore, so the Mastodon head could sometimes fall out of the cockpit point. Otherwise, you still get something resembling the original Dino tanker, the tank mode. It's not that bad. The Megazord mode is clearly where they put the most money into the toy. It's the most recognizable feature, even with the stickers missing from their usual places. It still looks good. It still functions the same. It's pretty accurate to what you would got from the 93 or even the 2010 model. But again, just some new changes, which I'll get to. Go around. Accessories, the sword is much smaller now, fortunately. Less detailed, hollow. Has a longer handle though, so much easier to get a grip. Mastodon shield, again, smaller, handle still there. So that's your core stuff. And an additional bonus feature, you can take these cannons and put them on the arm as such. So you have two ways now to use this configuration. Now, the big difference for this piece here is the articulation they added, primarily to the T-Rex and the Mastodon, making it just slightly better to move around than any of its previous contemporaries. So the arms can go up. This, and you can see right, they have a elbow bent. I think it's swivel here. They can't go out to the sides, but you have to be careful because in these parts, the connection can be more tighter, even here, it can be more tighter than you would like. So you have to put some force or put some dish soap in there to loosen it up just a bit. Just know that if you can pop up a piece like so, if you don't have a good grip on it. But it's not unplayable, not unusable. So again, arms go out, bend at the elbow, swivel here, they go out. And for transformation, remember that this can pivot as well as this, which combined with the other joints, you can give it a fist up. Legs move out like the original. Go straight out. They can't go straight back. The knees are stuck. So you have to only can do like a weirdly front kick. And he added this joint here, as you remember. You have to be careful at the feet. They pop up. And down here too. As well as the feet. With these new loose pieces and the new articulation points, you could now finagle with the pieces, take them off, and get something resembling this. With this mode, with all the articulation I mentioned, you now can manipulate the waist, since the tail is no longer hindering the movements. Although, if you put it to the side too much, it locks the legs into just a bit. And now, this thing has knees, awkward knees, but you have knees. Again, you can't go far back. You can't go back, but you can go forward. You can swivel to the side. You can get more poses from this configuration than any other. The downside is, I'm not sure if this was intentional, and you got some bunch of pieces left over. So, consider this your piece graveyard or your imagination station. Use these pieces however you desire for this new mode. As you can see, this new Megazord isn't very big. There are pieces that are too hollow and there's no details as much as the original. But what you get instead is still something that could be fun for a kid. You just have to find all the pieces or wait for a box set that's going to come out. I believe it's now or later on this year. The articulation is what I've wanted from the 2010 Megazord or past Megazord. Something that's affordable but can move around. And if Hasbro can do this at this price range, it could do a little more. Again, they're not at their complete A game with any of their lines, but this is where I hope this will lead to. My only gripe for this is the head doesn't want to turn because it's stuck on a plate. I would think that if the head turns, there could be a lot more personality towards this Megazord. But as it is now, it's okay. It's pretty good. It's just having to get all the pieces together that's the problem. Once you get it together, you still have something very fun, very playable, and something they could improve on given it enough time. And that's my quick take.